Welcome, hello. I'm Gareth Hanrahan, as you can possibly this here, and I am the GM for this evening. I'm running 13th Age, which is the D&D variant created by Jonathan Tweet, who was one of the lead designers on 3rd edition, and Rob Heinzu, who was one of the designers on 4th edition. And I've given this spiel many times, and it is this slightly lighter, slightly looser, excellent for one-shot version of D&D. And I'm joined by 3 lovely players who will, of course, remember all the rules perfectly from last year.
Yeah.
Yep, thought so. But do you want to do a brief round of introductions, even though their names are clearly plastered across the screen? Do so anyway. So, Jeff, you start us off.
All right, I'm Jeff, GR Matthews. I play lots of RPGs. The Wandering, my next one is to get started in. And I can't wait to get started in this one. Don't know what else to say at the moment. We'll do plugs later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for plugs. Steve?
I'm Steve, and the last time we did this was my first time. So this is now my second time. So, yeah, I have dice.
Excellent.
A lot of dice.
And Justin?
Sorry, I'm Justin, and I've played a lot of different RPGs, but I recently bought my very own one of these. Is that the right way up? That's right. I bought my very own one of these, and GM'd my first game, and it was fun.
Excellent. How did it go?
It was good. It was a kind of family thing. It was friends of ours who've got a kid who's the same age as ours, and the kids really wanted to play. So we played a session with I ran it, and the adults and the kids all played, and we basically played all weekend. It was great fun.
Sure. Right, we will not be playing all weekend, assuming.
No, we won't.
We're going to be playing until around 10 o'clock in sane time and whatever that is in transatlantic foreign times. So, right, quick background. We're not using the standard 13th Age background. We are using a setting that I have not come up with, but sort of like roughly sketched on napkin not half an hour ago. So about 200 years ago, there was a war between the humans and the forces of Fae and Elvendom and things in the woods. And this war was hideous and brutal and bloody and ended in a sort of a stalemate where both sides, for their own reasons, agreed to stop fighting. The humans because they were losing, and fairy creatures because they...
I'm not using the standard 13th Age background.
Was that?
That was weird.
That was weird. We just got an echo of what you started saying. But
Yeah, that was really strange.
Oh, wow. Does someone have the YouTube video open, maybe? Do I have the YouTube video?
No.
Okay. Just another spooky glitch. This is getting very atmospheric. So anyway, so the war ended in a silly stalemate because humans were losing and the creatures of fairy didn't like what they were becoming. The war was changing them for their mutable things of chaos, and basically what they do is what they are. So they were becoming twisted and monstrous. So they said, let's stop killing people. So the war isn't officially over. It's really stalemated. So this tradition has arisen at the behest of the Fae creatures that once a year, a group of human champions are sent into the wood for a ritual duel with one of the elf lords. Depending on your perspective, this is either a ritual duel or a sacrifice. Given every other year, the humans have been, well, they certainly haven't come back, and it's been the same elf lord every time. So the time of the ritual duel is coming around again, and 3 champions have either stepped forward, volunteered, or been volunteered, depending on what your backgrounds are. So, Jeff, do you have a character name?
I do. I have a character called Dark Cafe, which is my monk.
What's his name?
Dark Cafe.
Dark Cafe.
Yeah, close enough. Close enough. I'll put there. Yeah, so he is my monk.
Excellent.
Brave soul.
Was he? Right. I thought it was like a coffee flavor. Oh,
It is. It means large coffee in Mandarin. Yeah.
I feared it might.
I was going to say, is he particularly popular in the morning?
Always awake, full of energy.
Right, and how did that cafe come to be here? Was he volunteered? What is the reason for being on this doomed quest?
Well, as his icon relationship is the Emperor.
Right.
He was volunteered. He is following orders. It's the only way to keep his temple safe because they have to donate somebody every year, and it's Dar's chance.
Cool. We'll look back to you in a moment. Steve.
My ranger's name is Bear Shine. His parents were hippies, and he's involved in this because he's trying to get as far away from their commune as he possibly can.
Right. Cool. And Justin.
My wizard is called Jürgen Kalvar, and Jürgen was my great grandfather was a veteran of the Fey Wars, and each generation since has studied and kept records about the Fey to learn as much as they can about them. Our family are a bit obsessed with the Fey, and my mother was a sorceress who was connected to the Three. And so she introduced me to magic, and in my father's line, I have a fascination with the Fae. Although by my generation, it's more of a fascination than a grudge, which it was in my great-grandfather's day. So I've kind of, my whole life, I feel like I've been moving towards this point.
Excellent. Cool. So one under duress, one wandered in, and one with a long-standing familiar connection to the ritual duel. Excellent. Right. I've given you out semi-complete pre-gens with your attacks and so forth set out. In 30 days, you also have your one unique thing and your backgrounds. Backgrounds are basically skills, and we can basically add them on the fly when you need to make a skill check. But we'll establish your one unique things now. Your one unique thing is something that's unique about your character that's true only for you. It can be a piece of your background, a sort of whimsical magical power, some part of your upbringing, whatever you want. So what is Da Cafe's one unique thing, Jeff?
Well, Da Cafe always wears boots at the moment because he has 7 toes on each foot, which enable him to climb walls if he takes his boots off, which he doesn't want to do because
the 7-toed monk, or 14-toed monk.
Yeah, 14-toed monk.
Right. Steve, was it Bear Shine, was it?
Bear Shine, yeah.
Bear Shine, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's important to get that right.
Animals really like him. When he was little, like birds used to fly in and ferrets used to run in, little mice everywhere. It was like a Disney film, but for copyright reasons, it's not a Disney film, and nothing like it. But yeah, animals really like him. Not in a weird there's no magic involved. They just really, really like him.
The heavily armed Francis of Assisi.
Yeah.
And Justin, what is Jürgen Kalvar's unique thing?
Jürgen Kalvar's unique thing is that he has the unique honor of having come up with exactly the same unique thing as Steve's character, and therefore now needing another one on the fly.
Insects really like him.
I swear to God, it was like he has an affinity with animals. It's not magical. Just he has a real connection with animals. They seem to gravitate towards him. As soon as Steve started talking, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! We've come to the party wearing the same dress. Come on!" So I'm going to have to go up with another one. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Or we're just going to be flooded with animals the entire time.
Or we flooded with animals.
Do you want to put it on? Do you want to have this bizarre mystical twinning?
That's the unique thing that they both got.
I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll see if I can come up with something else on the fly.
Okay, cool. Your one unique thing is TBD.
Yes, I'm very mysterious about my unique thing. I'm quite secretive.
Right. Does anyone have any quick rules questions before we get started? I sent you little rules, primary things, but
I will more than likely need a little bit of guidance on the use of my spells as and when it comes up. But other than that,
yeah, basically your spells are broken into at will, so you can do whatever you want, and a bunch of daily spells, all of which are big bangers that go off once, but we can
once
deal
a
with
day.
that as they
Yeah.
come up.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff, you're okay with the Whackness of the Monk?
Yep, I've read it through. Yep.
Excellent. Right. Cool. In that case, I must do the speaking of ritual plugs. There's an ad. I feel extremely uncomfortable doing advertising, so I must do it in an American voice to, properly into the commercials of the whole thing. Before we begin, I just want to give a shout out to Pop Fiction Parlor for sponsoring our session. They are here to help your inner or outer nerd by providing some of the coolest action figures, collectibles, Funko Pops, plushies, and tons more, including side memorabilia. Best of all, they have all sorts of dice. Yay, so useful. Get your D&D game headed in the right direction. So go to popfictionparlor.com and check out all they have to offer. And subscribe to the newsletter for 10% off your first purchase. Excellent. I feel slightly soiled now. Thank you very much, Pop Fiction Parlor, for doing something for TBRCon. I'm sure they're very worthy people. Right. Shall we get started?
Oh, Jeff's gone.
And that was the end of Jeff the Monk.
That's not the end of me.
Oh, you're still
He's
there.
invisible.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
turned
still here.
invisible.
It's an integral camera. How can it go off? Just give me a moment.
We'll give you
Panic and
give me a moment, Jeff, to see if you can resurrect yourself. No, oops, we've lost him
This
entirely.
is because David said when we came on, this is because David said, brilliant, you've all come on and all your cameras and mics work perfectly.
Indeed. But there was mysterious tapping earlier, which, so clearly whatever it was has now gotten Jeff.
We're going down one at a time. Who's next? Which one of us is the murderer?
We should all be useless, of course, after a year of playing online. A year, 2 years, 3 years, however long it's been playing online. Jeff can see himself. We cannot see Jeff.
No.
There you go.
The standard online gaming thing of the seance. Can you hear us, Jeff? Are you there?
Don't walk towards the light.
Hey, I'll just give you the spelling of my character name while we're waiting.
I nearly got it right. I had an Ian. As opposed to Da Cafe. Right. Jeff.
Come back, Jeff. All is forgiven. We miss you.
Moderately.
Right, I need a unique thing. I'll have a dragon-related unique thing because I'm attached to the 3. So my unique thing, would it be a unique thing to be able to communicate with dragons? Would that be a cool thing?
If you declare it to be, then yes, it would be. Then you're the only person who can. Right.
I can communicate with dragons. There you go. That's my unique thing.
Marvelous. Now I'll dragon into the adventure.
Oh, you need to add Jeff, apparently, he says.
Oh, hang on. Am I the host or is...
I guess you will be now, are you?
I'm not, I think. One moment while I summon people.
In the meantime, a musical interlude.
Exactly.
Jazz hands.
Keep yourselves entertained. We'll just sit here and...
Hey, Steve, you watched Encanto today, didn't you?
I did. It was great.
It's good, isn't it? We really enjoyed it as well. We watched it today as well.
It was a very sweet, lovely, funny film. Very, very funny.
Really good.
I was especially happy with the donkeys and their dance routine during the song.
God, I can't even remember that. There you go.
When the strong lady is singing about all the pressure she's under, she has backing dancers that are donkeys, and they're doing.
I didn't even clock that.
It's amazing.
I didn't even clock that. When you mentioned that, I was thinking, like, when she had them all stacked up on her shoulders. I completely missed that they were doing a backing dancing routine.
It's absolutely amazing. No, I really enjoyed it. My kids have seen it a bunch, but today was the first time I saw it. And
our son, like half of our kids have watched it and said, "Oh, you have to watch this. It's amazing." So we watched it today, and we're like, "That was great! What a good film!"
Yeah, it's a very fun film. It's a very nice film. And the animation's really impressive as well, especially the flowers when they're all kind of blooming and there's colour everywhere.
They were good. Yeah, they were good. Really good. The music. I mean, unexpected. Of course, expected. The music was great. I thought the tunes were fantastic.
Yeah, they were very catchy. Apparently. Someone said that one of the songs on there is now more popular on Spotify than "Let It Go" from Frozen, which just warms my heart, frankly.
That's true. Yeah, apparently it's the only Disney song. It's we don't talk about Bruno. It's the only Disney song that's ever been #1 in the UK charts.
Yeah, it's a wonderful song.
Yes, great.
But it is, and it's better than "Let It Go," which makes my ears bleed whenever I hear it now because I've seen that film about 1,000 times. But no, it was really good. I haven't seen the other one that came out just before Christmas. I think Soul. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, that's good too.
But no, I really liked. I really liked Encanto. It was really nice. It was a great film. It was I also liked the last one they did with the was it Raya and the Dragon?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Is that one
That's
good too?
very good as well. Yeah, there's some. It's got Awkwafina in it. Awkwafina from.
Oh yeah, from Shang-Chi.
From Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
She plays the dragon. We watched that a little while ago. I took my youngest because she really likes martial arts to the cinema to watch it, and we loved it. She can't do the stuff in Shang-Chi, and she's very upset about that. But we still thoroughly enjoyed it.
Shang-Chi was great. Really enjoyed Shang-Chi.
Guys, right. None of us the hosts, so we can't have Jeff in. Jeff can, however, see and hear us.
Okay.
So until David shows up to do technical stuff and resurrect Jeff, we shall head on with the game. And because Jeff can see us here on StreamYard, he can type in the chat if it becomes necessary. And hopefully...
Wait.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Jeff. We missed you.
I have returned and resurrected.
Body Jeff for the entire session.
Yes, it would have been me typing really quickly. I'm back. Oh. Right.
Right, let's charge on before we're
wrong again. Yep.
Cool. Right. So you are all in the domain of Baron Kairos, who is a human lord whose lands border on the Gloamwood, the domain of the Fae. The border is marked by this long, long wall of swords. Basically, when the war ended, the human legions plunged their iron swords and spears into the ground as a sort of spiritual fence, marking the border between the lands of mortals and the lands of the Fae. And every year there is a feast in honor of the champions who are going to be sent across the fence to duel the Lord of the Wood, or to be sacrificed to the Lord of the Wood, depending on how things go. So you are all at this feast. It is it's fairly solemn for a feast. There is a great deal of jollity, at least at Lord Kyros's table. He's this dour fellow who lives in the shadow of the dark wood. The peasants, have at this point come to treat it as a holiday and a festival, and would be laying bets on which of you dies first. But among the lords and nobles and dignitaries who've come to witness the ceremony and witness you guys going across the border, it's a lot more sober and solemn. So how do each of you behave at this feast? Are you sort of emulating your betters? Are you basically celebrating your possible last night on Earth? Do you want to skip the feast to prepare your gear? What are you doing?
I think I'm taking it very seriously and doing a little bit of last minute research, and because I'm not expecting to die, of course. I'm absolutely focused on the fact that I'm going to win and come back.
Okay. Who do you consult with? There are various priests there. There are various scholars. There will be or there would be the people who've lived next to the fence for generations that have probably had the commoners who farm the marginal land close to the fence.
Yeah, definitely those guys, the commoners who live nearby. I want to know what their experience is.
Okay, we'll get back to you in a moment. Steve, how is Bearshine doing with the feast? What is Bearshine's demeanor?
I think he's probably looking to see if there's going to be any trouble. Are there any problems within the hall? Is there anyone who's about to start a fight or about to do something very stupid? He's always on the watch because.
Okay. About the only thing you see are a couple of younger knights who have clearly gotten drunk and are basically boasting they should be the ones to go across the fence and slay the Fae and get revenge. And their Baron Kyrus is trying to sort of talk them down and go, no, it's this is not your hour to die, it's their hour to die. Do you want to get involved in putting them down, or?
Yeah, let's go and talk to the drunk knights. That seems like a good idea.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. I don't see how this can fail.
Cool. One big red-faced knight stumbles towards you, stabs a finger at you, goes, Who are you? Anyway, this is my grandfather's sword. It's slain many of the Fae. I should be the one to go across. You're some peasant from the middle of nowhere. What gives you the right to die horribly?
I would say you are right. You should. 100%. Just charge over there. See what happens. Best of luck.
His eyes bulge. Right, yes. He turns and starts heading out the door of the feast hall. His friends basically grab him and say, No, don't do that, don't do that. Do you want to basically intercede and get yourself between him and his friends so he breaks free and runs off? Or
No, I think my job is done. I think I've planted a seed there.
Oh yeah. Next year he'll be volunteering. And Da Cafe, how do you deal with this? Depending on.
Yeah, I'm going to wander around drinking from a gourd. One of those little shapely gourd things, just pouring it in. Need alcohol to combat the energy levels.
I see. This is sort of drunken monk style.
Full of good cheer. So, greeting everybody, slapping them on the back, telling them things will be all right. This is the way.
Okay. Cool. Give me a perception type test. It's basically wisdom based. It's just Da Cafe. And if you want to have with a background indicating that you are especially perceptive, you can if you wish, or you just basically roll your straight wisdom. Then again, you are super wise already, so this is going to that could maybe overkill.
Well, yeah, it's 29.
Right. You perceive all.
The world is mine. I understand it all.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only good roll I'm going to get. You realise that, don't you? Rest of them just ones.
Yeah, I know. Right. By tradition, there is the 3 champions we're sent through are each given a treasure, or sort of give them luck in the Gloamwood. And the 3 treasures are traditional. They're actually prizes captured from the elves long ago, or from the Fae long ago, and they are. Where are we? A set of antlers, a coin, and some pipes, pan pipes. And they're on this sort of dais over one side of the hall, these sacred relics that every year are brought back covered in blood, ready for the next group of heroes. And there's this, one of the servants is standing by them, and with your astounding perception, you see he's meddling with the set of panpipes. He's slipped something into them.
As I spot this, I will stagger over, swigging from my gourd as the rice wine pours into my mouth, and just sling an arm around his shoulder, give him a good pull and a tug in with my really quite exemplary strength.
Right.
And accidentally, as I'm doing that, stumble and knock everything onto the floor.
Okay.
It falls out.
Right. As you interrupt him, the sacred relics fall to the floor, and a small scrap of parchment falls out of the panpipes and rolls under a table. Looks like he'd stuck a small piece of parchment into the panpipes.
That would have stopped them being played properly, surely, though.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry, my friend. I sound like Boris Johnson now. I was going to sorry, my friend. All my characters are like Boris Johnson. I don't know why.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Was there a fridge? Quick. So I'll apologise profusely, drunkenly.
Right.
My friend, tell him I love him dearly, and
cool. He says, no, he is clearly at fault for standing there while you fell into him. You do notice with that astounding perception test, Baron Kyrus looking over and frowning, clearly irritated about whatever's going on over there, and getting irritated with the servant for being spotted.
I'll turn around to the Baron and wave drunkenly, and then I do take a step and accidentally fall over.
Okay.
And just gather the bit of paper and the panpipes in while doing that, while I stagger around and on my knees, probably trying to get back up again.
Cool. The servant picks up the items again and places them back on the dais because they'll be given to you just before you depart. Justin, you were going to, Jürgen, what was it, Calvar?
That's it.
Was going to basically hang out with the peasants and find some wizened crones and other wise people who know such things.
Yeah, I want to know what their experience with the Fae is living on the border.
Right. Give me either a charisma or intelligence test. Charisma if you want to basically impress them, intelligence if you want to sift their stories for grains of truth.
I'll go with intelligence on the basis I've got a +5 modifier on that as opposed to only 3 for charisma. So
Radio.
And I rolled, God, that's terrible. I rolled a 13, including the modifier.
Okay. They are uber eager to share their lore with you. So basically, you're drowning in clues and rumors.
Right.
Things they agree upon: that the Fae are vulnerable to iron, that they are one with the wood, that they are hideously dangerous. The one thing you do here is that no one has ever returned from no one's ever returned full stop from going across the woods, but because the fence is just like a line of swords, people have seen things happening in the wood.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the terrain to the south is a marsh and is exceptionally dangerous.
Okay.
And obviously if you keep going east, you're going deeper into the forest. So your best chance of survival, everyone agrees, is to head northish.
Okay.
If you want to prolong your suffering, or, maybe you'll win. But,
okay. Okay, that's very useful information.
Cool. Right. Does anyone want to anything else, or are we skipping to the end of the feast and your ceremonial departure to the lands of the Fae and your impending deaths?
Let's be ceremonied.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the parchment? I haven't read that yet.
Reach a parchment.
Do you want to check the parchment when the fires are dying down, the drunken revelers are going to bed, and
Probably says, if lost, please return too.
do you want to check it?
Yeah. Yes, I'd like to.
Excellent. Right. The parchment is a map. Given it's like a tiny piece of parchment and it was clearly hastily drawn, it's not an especially good map, but it does have the Baron Kyrus's little town where you are and the line of defense. And the sketch of the wood is like very much like, here there be dragons and elves and other bad things. But what it does mark is, again, to the north, there's a row of hills, and apparently, from what you can gather on the map, there's either a tunnel or some sort of giant worm, but there's something underground that looks tunnel-like, and it appears to show a way back across the fence that will go unseen.
I'll share that with my new companions when an opportunity arises. By the dim firelight, just holding it up and trying to get visible to them.
Which, the servants, is it, or?
No, my bear Shine.
Oh, yes.
And Jurgen.
Yes. Well, no, you guys are heading across all together, so you have, like, rooms given over to the three champions, so you can easily have a moment alone to consult and consider.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to show them I've just found this. Bear Shine, a ranger that you are, you must know the lay of the land and how to get places. Mostly in temple.
It's a very interesting map.
It is interesting. It tallies with some information I received about the idea that we should go north for the best chance of surviving.
Or be eaten by the giant worm. Just point on the map to it looks like a tunnel or a worm.
I believe we should avoid the giant worm.
Yeah.
That's as an expert. We should avoid the giant worm.
That's it. As
That's useful information.
As an expert ranger cartographer, you'd also know that it looks more like a tunnel than a worm. So even allowing for artistic license,
it might not be a giant worm, is what I'm thinking. It might be a tunnel, and you've got a worm.
I spend my days in quiet contemplation and training in a temple.
I can see that.
The swig from the gourd.
I can see that too. Maybe you're seeing things a little bit with the gourd.
Right. The next morning dawns not really bright, not really clear. It is the ideal weather for a ritual execution. It's grey, it's misty, it's drizzling. Some of you maybe woke up by servants, some of you by small woodland animals nuzzling your pillow.
They're a wonderful companion.
Exactly. You'll be departing basically in about an hour and a half. What is your last meal before crossing the border? Baron Karis' chef will cook you whatever you want for your last breakfast.
What? Bacon and eggs. Why not?
Fair enough. Slaughter the hogs and break the chickens.
Yeah.
I think some sort of porridge. The constant companion of animals make me very, very wary about eating meat or anything that would come out of an animal. They don't like it; they get all pecky. So I stick to vegetables, gruel, and porridge.
Cool.
I live a very exciting life.
It's just.
It's the
See,
whole
having been raised in the mountains, I'm accustomed to goat curry, goat milk, goat. So bacon and eggs is exotic.
Oh, yeah. So do you smell vaguely of goat then? So.
Probably a little bit. Yeah.
Here's the goat wizard.
Mystic odor.
Yeah. Wolves get very confused near me because I don't smell right. Prey or what is that?
Helpful.
Yeah.
I'll eat congee, little porridge,
Cool.
with little fried sticks in it. But as I'm getting it, because I'm vegetarian, I'm from a temple, I'll just tip a wink to the chef and say, "Some of this bacon as well," just to slide under it as I can make my way.
Cool.
Yeah.
The chef is largely unchallenged by making 2 bowls of porridge and some bacon and eggs.
We're simple people.
You clearly are. Like, your previous champions have demanded far more exotic things.
That's
Well,
breakfast
think of
this
a
morning,
dragon.
I like to eat
We'll
things
have
I know the chef can cook properly.
That's true, yeah.
That's always a bonus, yeah.
And also, you are in the middle of, it's on the edge of the kingdom, so, like, expecting haute cuisine is pushing it. So.
You don't want an upset stomach while you're trying to battle the Fae.
Exactly, yeah.
We should have asked.
Yeah, you don't need to do heavy either. You know, it'll just sit there in your gut. It'd be really unpleasant to be marching on that. Really bad.
Yeah.
Right. Once you've all broken your fast and prepared yourself, gotten your gear ready, walk out the gates of the castle and along the fence. There's this long line of swords and spears. And standing there are Baron Kyrus, some of his guards, and some priests. And also the servant you saw last night, who's holding this tray with the ritual items on it. And they're covered by a cloth, but because you saw them last night, you can, pretty easily guess which they are. There is, as I said, a set of antlers to be worn, a coin, and a set of panpipes. And the first choice by random allocation goes to the wizard, Jürgen Kalvar.
Okay.
The servant.
I feel like the antlers probably belong with the animal lover, and Da already has a bit of a connection to the panpipe, so I'll take the coin.
Okay. Reach under and take the coin. It is this ancient coin, solid gold from the feel of it. With it's so old it's been rubbed almost smooth, but with your great knowledge of the Fae, you can still make out the sigil of the Elf Queen upon it.
Okay.
The Fae who stopped the war. You do guess it is a coin of great value on the far side of the fence.
Nice.
You have 1 GP.
One Elf Queen GP.
Indeed. 1 EGP. The second choice goes to Bearshine.
I am going to take the antlers because they
Right.
look.
It is a impressive set of antlers. There's a leather headband effect, so you can put them on.
Nice, classy.
Fancy indeed.
Understated.
Yeah. I like to be understated with my antler head drop.
Right, you put them on.
They're very comfortable.
They are, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Again, they're so old that basically the velvet on them has worn away and so forth, but they're still quite solid, quite intact, and quite spiky in places. And finally, being a humble monk, left for you is the one item, which is a set of panpipes.
Yeah.
Again, very old, slightly bloodstained, slightly battered.
But I'd start playing that Paul Simon song that they always play. I can't remember what it is now. El Condor Paso, where and just start.
Do you want to make a performance check?
Probably not, but I'll do it anyway. Yeah, that's. I don't know. Is it dexterity?
No, it'd be charisma normally.
Charisma. Oh, well, excellent. That came out at 7.
Do you want to have a background in playing panpipes, or are you just going to give it a very discordant?
I'm just going to deafen everybody. Just all the wrong notes in all the wrong order. That's what I'm going for.
Cool. You rob the occasion of any solemnity whatsoever.
It's music from my ancient homeland, obviously. This one I'm going for. Yeah.
Baron Kyrus has this piper with a bagpipes, who's staring daggers at you for both stealing his thunder and playing something even more alarming. Right. Baron Kyrus says, as has been tradition since the time of my grandfather's grandfather, we continue the struggle against the Lords of the Gloamwood. 3 champions have been chosen. 3 champions have stepped forward. This year I've not needed to open my dungeons and send a condemned criminal, but heroes all have volunteered to go and battle the Lord of the Wood. We salute your bravery. If you fall, we should salute your sacrifice. But the time has now come for you to leave the lands of mortals behind, cross the the fence of swords and into the wood from whence no man has returned. Are you ready?
Yes,
Totally.
probably.
Yes. Yes.
He seems somewhat gratified by this, given in previous years they've had to basically throw people across. But he stands to the side and gestures. And across the fence, there's this basically wall of swirling mists, and you can see poking through it these gnarled trees and woods and so forth. There are birds and small wildlife flocking around, flying between the wood and the flying across the fence. So it's not an impassable barrier or anything, and it's possible even that the bit on the immediate far side isn't even that dangerous, or at least not to small woodland animals and birds. So, who takes the lead as you cross the fence and head into the wood?
It's going to be me, isn't it? Because I'm the ranger, and you probably want someone who actually knows not to step in a certain place to take the lead. But if one of you guys want to do it instead, I won't hold you back. No, that's exactly
happy brave ranger.
Always happy to follow in the footsteps of a ranger.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm.
In this case, quite literally.
At some distance.
Right. So you cross the fence. There's this basically line of, at this point, quite rusted swords and spears stuck into the fen. And then as you press on to this don't close behind you. You can still see in the distance the towers of Baron Kyrus's castle. But within only a few footsteps, the sound of the watching crowd fades away. And you're in the shadows of this deep, dark wood. These weird trees rise above you and before you, all gnarled and twisted with sort of faces leering out of the bark. The place is incredibly tangled. There's no visible paths. So yeah, you're on the edge of this scary wood. What is the plan?
It's just a thought, gents, that we could just sit here
forever.
Well, for at least a few days
until they go away, and then we can go back.
Well, while you do some hunting and provide food and stuff, and
that's not a terrible idea. And to be fair, I've heard worse.
Have you seen Jurassic Park? That tactic does not work out for the goat.
That's also a valid point.
Staying in one place is not necessarily our best plan.
And he knows goats.
And I know goats. I was heartbroken. I knew that goat.
If he knows goats, then what am I talking about? Defer to the goat master. I
mean, honestly, goats are obviously highly relevant in this forest, which is not remotely a mountainous terrain. So,
yeah.
Maybe we should look at that map again and figure out where the tunnel is, not the worm, the tunnel.
I agree.
Happy to do that. I will pull the map out and unfurl the little bit of parchment that's
right. Yeah, it is, as I said, a hand-drawn map. It looks fairly new. It's not ragged or old or faded or anything. And it shows, especially work out your current location based on the location of Baron Kyrus's castle, just over that way. And basically, north there should be some hills, and in those hills, you should find this tunnel. As simple as that.
North is good. We go north.
Let's go north.
Because south sounds awful.
I'll draw the map for us.
That is
pretty much bang on,
yeah.
Is the plan to basically stay on the narrow strip of land between the fence of swords and the wood, or are you going to basically head into the wood, which would be a slightly more direct route, but also going into the scary wood?
Well, we are champions, and there are people on the other side kind of they're eager and want us to do stuff. And if we just kind of wander up the side of the swords, they're going to start getting antsy that we're not doing stuff, that we're just walking up the hill.
They can't see us through the fog. It's fine.
There's also fog.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I should point out that one of the reasons the humans are so willing to do this ritual with Sentinel every year is that no one wants this war to start up again. So, if you were to just turn around and walk back, they would strongly encourage you to turn around and walk back again, because no one wants to be the ones to mess up the ritual sacrifice and thus incur the wrath of the unknowable elves. So,
are there any animals around the wooded area that might look friendly?
Goat.
Not necessarily a goat. I'd be quite surprised, but yeah, maybe a deer or a bird or a ferret or something.
Give me a wisdom check there, please.
Wisdom.
Yep.
I think 21.
Right. With your relatively, because your entirely astounding ranger skills and your affinity for animals, you quickly find some tracks and follow them, and you see that there is indeed a deer. Basically, the deep woods is very, very overgrown, but this deer has come out and is nibbling on the bark of one of the saplings that's basically growing closer and closer to the wall of Burns. And as you expertly approach from upwind and so forth, you get close enough to see that the deer is quite young. It's only a few years old. There is an arrow sticking out its flank. It's an old wound. You guess basically a few months old. So someone clearly shot the deer a few months ago. Didn't kill it, and only sort of barely pierced the skin, so the wound isn't even that infected or anything. What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to pull the arrow out of the deer because they
Okay.
do that.
So you're going to exert your fantastic animal charisma and bring the deer close to you. Yep, it's astounding. Actually, describe how you get this deer literally eating out of your hand.
I'm going to walk up to it slowly, just talk to it normally, because that seems to work with animals. And the deer will look at me and be confused for a moment, and then
all doe-eyed.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then for some reason the animal just trusts me. It lets me get close to it. I stroke its head and I pull out the arrow.
Cool. Yeah, you do all that. The arrow, looking at it, is very, very crudely made. It looks like someone basically sort of picked up a stick and whittled it into a rough approximation of an arrow. It's an amateurish arrow, which is quite hard to say. I said you would guess only a few relatively recently made, like in the last year, certainly.
So there's someone hunting in the woods.
Yeah, and Calabar or Jürgen from your talk last night that people do not. There are endless tales of people who go, "Oh, look, there's a deer. I'll cross the fence and hunt it," and they never come back.
Yes,
right.
The peasants know not to cross here.
So someone is very badly hunting in the forest.
Indeed.
Okay, so we can follow the deer into the forest because it would obviously know where there's a clearing that it can walk through.
Cool.
Is the deer going north?
If it's going south, the deer's stupid. It can go that way. We'll go the other way.
The deer basically emerged from the forest to the east, so the deer is technically heading west and stopped when you found it. But yes, you can follow the deer, and it leads you down. Actually, if it sort of finds this deer track in the forest, and leads you down, and pretty soon it comes to a fork in the path. There's one fork that's going sort of northeastish, which is the direction you want to go, and there's another one which is going eastish, and the deer conveys through deer body language
Well versed.
that the northeast path is bad, where it got hurt, but the east path is is safe and good for deers.
Okay.
Looks packages in Puerto Rico. Follow me, Untitled One. I will bring you to nice water and happy grass.
Do like happy grass. Yeah, that's my brother. My brother's name is Happy Grass.
Good guy. Sounds like a good guy.
So yeah, no, that seems like a good plan. Unless anybody has any other plan to go northeast where the danger is.
Well, but northeast also takes us to the tunnel, doesn't it? But do we want to go? Do we want to go to the tunnel? I'm wondering if the tunnel exists that people can go into and sneak back out under the fence. How many people have done that who have supposedly never come back, but actually really have and just snuck out?
Yeah, Jeff Barbarian.
They've all been eaten by the worm. That's the issue. There's a worm there. They've all been eaten by that.
Yes.
It is a flaw in my plan. Yes.
The worm.
The worm. Yes. The tunnel worm.
The tunnel worm. Yes.
The tunnel worm of the old forest. I'm sure it's a mystical tale told by in inns and taverns around this area. But I've never been here because I live in a temple mostly, so I really don't know.
Clearly. You don't spend enough time in taverns, do you?
This is all new to you.
Now look, trees.
There are certainly
See that? That's sky, that is.
Are you still drinking from your gourd? Just checking.
Always. Just
okay. Okay.
Nice word. Right. So, which path are you following? The deer path deeper to the forest, or the bad path where possibly hunters lie? That's also on the direction you think you might be supposed to go, but you're not quite sure. Given your brief so far has been go into the wood and get murdered.
I wonder if the hunters might be previous people who've been sent over and just sort of are trying to survive by hunting in the forest with their pathetically put together arrows. So they're not necessarily dead, but they're not. So they haven't survived very well. They're just trying to hunt.
That might mean that they might try and hunt us.
I would hope not.
Would not be competent at it.
I'm not sure that being stuck in a forest for a year necessarily turns you into a cannibal. I'm not sure that necessarily follows. But I could be wrong. I
was wondering whether if they are the previous champions, that perhaps the contest isn't a contest of arms and weapons, but a game of Othello or Go that we play against the elves, and you just if you lose a lot, we just stay here because we can't go back because we lost. That's what happens.
So you just make it in the forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the disguise, perhaps, if you do go back to town, and then you tell horrible stories about it because the elf
growing a bigger beard.
A really short dude. He's not a big elf. He's a really short dude, but he's a Go master. So that's what he does.
Do any of you want to make intelligence tests to recall who last year's champions were?
Yeah, well,
I don't think there's much point with my intelligence.
I don't have
16.
What you recall? The last year's champions, the ones you heard of, there was Sir Gallerus, who was the descendant of one of the knights who fought in the war and came here for vengeance. The Razor Maiden, who was a famous gladiatrix, whatever, from a distant land, who basically came to try herself against the elves. And there was someone else, because they couldn't get a third champion. So it was the contents of Baron Kyrus's dungeon who got turfed across.
Random prisoner number 3.
Exactly.
He has a name, not just a number.
We'll name him if he gets a line.
Random prisoner probably might not have been very good with the weaponry. He might be the person, or she might be the person with the arrows. Depending on whether or not they armed them before they stuck them over the.
Well, that's it. I mean, presumably Sir Gallows and the Razor Maiden might have gone looking for a fight, whereas prisoner number 3 probably went looking for somewhere to hide.
Yes. It depends what they're in prison for.
Yeah.
Which way?
Shall we go see the prisoner?
I say north. I say we still go northeast. I think the deer not liking it is not necessarily a bad thing.
That's true. They are deer. They are quite skittish.
Yes.
They don't like a lot of things, like breeze and anything out of the ordinary.
The elves are meant to be one with the woods, so the deer are going to be happy with them, whereas they're going to be not happy with people who are not elves, which sounds like our kind of people.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I bow down to the wizard's intelligence on this particular matter.
I'm just happy to follow and keep drinking.
And he can go first.
Okay, so it's northeast, is it?
That way. That way.
Yes, I think so.
The deer shoots you a look, and Bearshine like no, bad. But you set off down the northeast path, and after a few minutes, you come to a clearing. And in the middle of this clearing is this. It looks like a tree stump at first glance, but then you catch in the middle of this like sort of thicket of like overgrown thorns. You catch the sun catches some piece of metal in there and glints off it. There is something metal and roughly human-sized in the middle of this basically tangle of thorns. And you also hear snoring from a little lean-to on the far side of the clearing. So there's metal thing, human-sized, covered in thorns, middle of clearing, and then lean-to over in the corner, and snoring coming from it. And can I also get perception rules from everyone, please? So wisdom based.
Where's my perception score?
15.
I can't find it.
Your wisdom plus level, so
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah.
8. I am not paying attention. That's
Very much.
16.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 15.
Cool. Yeah. None of you spot the thing. So, what is the plan?
I'm going to say we skirt the edges of this clearing at best, because that looks an awful lot like some kind of person got trapped there, and I don't like it.
It doesn't need to look like that.
And
So
if that is the person, then someone is snoring, so they're not that fussed about the person being trapped because they've had a snooze. So,
Or they're very fussed, they don't want to leave them, but they just had to fall asleep.
or that. Yeah.
Right. So,
I think we should go and have Susan the lean-to myself. I think we should go and.
I agree, but I think we should skirt around the edge rather than crossing the clearing. The clearing feels like a bad thing to me. I'm going to go with a deer on this one.
Yes, the deer is very smart.
cool. As you search, you see there are two other paths leading off from this clearing. One in a northish direction, the other one in an eastish direction. Through a gap in the trees to the east, you can see what looks like a weird elven tower rising above the hills, or above the treetops. The north just leads deeper into tangled forest. And as you skirt around, you see this little sort of like, crudely made lean-to hut at the base of this really huge tree. And there is definitely this figure in there snoring away. And he is... Yes, of course I rolled. I wasted the natural 20. Show how clueless and non-perceptive this guy is. Right, so as you're stealthily creeping towards him, by some strange chance, he wakes up from a nightmare and sees you, despite your stealthiness and skirtiness. So you see this guy with a wild beard, wild hair, wild stench, inside this little lean-to. He sits up at this and freezes.
Hi.
Just
Who are you?
Yeah.
He gets up, looks up the tree behind him. I am Ferric. Ferric, the Forsaken. Ferric, I had something for this. I've had a year to think of it. No, I'm just Ferric. Oh. Justin, do you have a D6 there?
I do.
Roll a dice there, please, and don't roll a 1.
I rolled a 3.
Excellent. Nothing happens.
Lovely.
Okay. Well done.
You say you've had a year to think about it. Is that because you came over a year ago?
Yes, yes, it has been a year. I smelt the breakfast. Oh, do you have a little bit of bacon left? Even though the castle is like, a mile and so that way, I can smell it on the air. I've dreamed of it. I've tried to catch the wild boars, but they're really hard to catch. In fact, everything's really hard to catch. Do you have any food?
I think we can can't offer you bacon, but I'm sure we've got some dried meat in our provisions.
Dried meat. I've been living on nuts and berries and small.
You got some. Essentially, we have some pepperami. Here you go.
Grubs. That's the word, grubs.
Yeah, there's no grubs in that. Well, not that I know of.
But I would know. I've eaten so many of them. They live beneath the bark on his toes. You see. Anyway,
okay.
Yes, as you have doubtless surmised, I was sent a year ago. But we failed. We died well. I'm not dead yet, but.
Were you a prisoner?
I'm not a prisoner. I'm a guest.
No, were you a prisoner?
Oh, yes. In the dungeon for tax fraud.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, you said you were a guest.
Look at me now. But once I was a wealthy merchant, hence my lack of survival skills.
You survived quite well, actually.
Well, again, I'm an honoured guest.
On a guest.
What are you worried about in the tree?
I'm not worried about that tree, but you should keep your voices down.
Okay. Should we maybe continue this conversation whilst we leave?
Well, I can't leave. I said I'm a guest.
Oh, a guest, but you can't leave.
Who you guessed off?
I want to go away.
Okay.
So what can you tell us about what happened to you last year?
Well, Sir Gallerus, that's him there in the middle of the clearing. Well, first, the Razor Maiden left us. She said she had a secret ally, and she went south as soon as we crossed the fence. She seemed to know where she was going. And Sir Gallerus, he went east, he charged into the wood. And I followed him because he had a very big sword and I was very scared. And he's there in the clearing. He didn't last long.
Did the tree get him?
No, the tree didn't get him. The Lord of the Wood got him. The tree got me.
Okay, sorry.
Did he lose the game of Othello against the Lord of the Wood? Is that what happened?
No, not a game. A giant arrow that shot him in the heart, and it exploded into a thorn bush and was torn apart from the inside. And then they took his head.
I don't remember that from the games at the temple. I'm pretty sure there were no arrows or spears.
They took his head.
Well, yes.
Who's they?
The little ones who served the Lord of the Wood. But I shouldn't talk about them. I've been told you shouldn't talk about them.
Okay.
And I thought I would die too, but then I met this nice tree who takes care of me.
The tree. So you are a guest of the tree, and the tree is looking after you.
Tree, yes.
Wow, what a nice tree.
Yeah.
Looking up at the tree, it is a large oak tree. It got blasted by lightning at some point because there's this like a black scar running down from the crown of the tree down to the heartwood, almost down to the roots. And now that you look at it, it is an oddly like humanoidish tree. Like you can look at it, like all these trees seem to have faces, but this one has a very distinct face, and the branches almost look like outstretched arms, and it does look almost like it's sleeping.
Interesting.
Can we still hear snoring? Is the tree snoring?
Now that you're concentrating on it, you can't hear the snore anymore now that Ferg's awake. But through your toes, your 14 toes, you can pick up a sort of a subsonic vibration that was in tune with it, as if the earth is snoring.
All right.
That seems weird, even by the standards of things that we've seen in our many long, exciting lives that we've lived.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Except the monk who just lives.
To everything exciting.
And
Have you seen a tree before? Do you know what this is?
They're usually just, as it was, round wooden poles, really, that hold the roof up. That's
Okay.
Maybe don't tell the tree that you.
Okay, so what's it called? Fennec? Is it Fennec? Is that right?
Ferric.
Ferric.
But honestly, you can call me whatever you want, because I've lived here all alone, apart from the nice tree, for almost a year now. So
okay,
just call me Mortal. Just call me Riddler. Call me Hey You. Call me.
We're okay with Ferric, I think. Are we okay with Ferric? I think we're okay with Ferric.
Yeah. You deserve to be called, Ferric, not Hey You. That seems unfair. You've survived this long. You've done a good job. Well done.
So Ferric, do you want to get away from the tree, or I mean, what?
Well, I wouldn't like to cast aspersions on his hospitality, but I'm very sick of eating grubs from his toes.
Well, why don't you come with us, and we'll see if we can keep you alive without feeding you grubs.
What if he wakes up and what's the word? Squashes you and me?
How fast can the tree walk? It's a tree.
It is a tree. I don't know. I haven't tried, but I have tried. But he's always caught me. So
you've tried to escape before?
Once or twice, but then I learned it was a very foolish idea.
So do you want to stay here?
Oh, well, I prefer to leave, but I also prefer not to get squished. Given a choice of leaving, I would like to leave. But if leaving means I get squished and die, then I'd stay. So
that's a rational choice. I feel that's a rational choice.
I thought so. Yes.
I applaud the wisdom, but very quietly, so as not to wake the tree.
Yes. Maybe
if we all one hand clapping.
Let's leave very quietly and see if we can get away without waking up the tree.
Just to tiptoes, and if you want to come with us quietly until we're some distance away, and then we run very fast.
Okay. We can try. Will we all make stealth rolls?
Yes.
I have used my 20 on hearing you, so this is not boding well already.
Is this a dex?
Dexterity checks, and if anyone wants to have a stealthy background, they can.
18.
23.
Oh,
17.
Oh, all very stealthy. Right.
Oh, good.
That's a 1.
Ferric is not very stealthy. So, the three of you, which way are you creeping? The north route or the east route?
East tower, yeah?
East is tower, north is forest and following the map, basically.
We should still go north, I think, shall we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think the tower is a bad idea.
Okay, cool. You guys stealthily creep toward the north. Ferric hesitates a bit too long and then breaks for it. And when I say he's lunging and then he trips on a root, he goes face down the mud. Tree's eyes snap open. And the huge oak tree goes, "Whoa, Ferric." Huge hand comes down, sort of cage of oak branches around him. What are you doing? Them! And Ferric points towards the three of you guys hiding on the edge of the clearing.
Cheers, Ferric. Thanks very much for that.
Thanks a lot, Ferric. It's good.
Is this what trees normally do? Talk and move, because the ones in the temple don't do that.
No.
They just...
No, they don't. This is new.
Okay.
Right. Do you wish to engage the tree in conversation, engage the tree in combat, or try running?
I don't think hacking at the tree is going to do us a whole lot of good. So
I think we should have a conversation with
we
it.
could talk to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wizard could talk to it. It has a high intelligence.
Okay. I suppose I do. My charisma is also not bad.
Oh, that's
so I could try.
I'm just thinking as I slowly edge away from the talking tree.
So what you're saying is I can stay and distract the tree while you escape.
You are a brave soul. Well done.
Yeah. As you go forward to talk to the tree, and our ranger slips backwards, I just stand in the middle looking, and then just start edging away as well.
Yeah.
No, so you two are
One
edging
foot after
away.
the other, slowly backwards.
Wizard is
Smiling and nodding.
Okay. Tree stumbles forward towards you. I am Blast Oak, veteran of the war. Who be you?
Hello, Blastook. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Jürgen Kalvar, and I'm here because I have a deep interest in the. Is it elves or fae? I keep mixing them up. Is it elves or fae?
One's a subset of the other. So basically, elves are fae, but they're other kinds of fae.
Cool. All right, that's cool. With the fae in general, and I've come to learn what I can about them, and we came across Ferric on our way through, and we thought we might take him with us as a guide, if that's okay with you.
He is my amusement. Now the war is done, and I no longer fight. I need something to rouse my sap and keep my brain going. I'd play the riddle game with him. If you take him away, I will fall asleep and be tree-like again. Mind will slip and go down into my roots, and I will sleep, and I do not wish to sleep, and not yet.
Okay. Well, I have no answer to that.
Yeah, you sound very nice.
Is there some other way we can come up with to entertain you that perhaps we could, if you were prepared to move to nearer the fence with the human lands, I'm sure lots of people would like to come and try to match you. You could maybe set a prize for people who can beat your riddles, and lots of people would come and try to do your riddles, and then you would have all kinds of different people to talk to.
Ferric tells me he is the greatest wit that has ever lived among humankind. Is this true?
Well,
maybe. I've never met him before. I couldn't speak for that. He could be. But there could be better. There could be more challenging people out there for you. You'll never know unless you try for a bit of variety.
He strokes his chin like shards of bark rain down on you. I sleep when the sun is out. When employed, I weep. Before I am an inch from done, they cut off my head. But I am their faithful and valued servant. What am I?
Okay. What? I sleep when the sun is out.
When employed, I weep. When I am an inch from done, they cut off my head. But I am their faithful and valued servant. What am I?
An onion. Guess
a candle.
Oh, a candle's good.
Oh, you're indeed equal to Ferric in wit. This is good. Humans have brains. Maybe I will go and talk to the humans.
I would recommend it. I'm not the greatest, most intelligent of the humans. There are certainly more intelligent than me. So if you want to go and find more of a challenge, I would recommend you go nearer the human border.
Will you guide me there, or will I take Ferric?
We can direct you.
We can walk and take this.
Jeff, do you have a D6 there?
I do. Yeah.
Roll a D6. Don't roll a 1.
Okay. What was I not to roll?
Not a 1.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
I'm blaming the dice.
Lord, man.
I've gone from a natural 20 to a 1. This is how, yeah.
Right.
It could be a 7 on a D6. It could just be missing a little bit of marking on it.
It could be, but it's not.
My dice goes 2 to 7. Obviously, that's how it works. Oh dear.
Right.
Well, it was good knowing you.
What's your arm class there, Jeff?
20.
Right. Take 25 damage. Right. This arrow suddenly sprouts in Dakafe's chest. Looking up in the branches of another tree, not talking to the regular tree, there is this tall figure, green-skinned, thorns sprouting all over its skin, horns, like sort of ram's horns sprouting from its head, carrying a huge bow, and is just single arrow thumping into Dakafe's chest.
That'll teach you to roll a 1, Jeff.
Yeah, that's what happened, Jeff.
That's yeah. Let's run. With all the tree. Let's. I'm going to hide behind Blast Oak. Then that seems to be the.
But tell you, Blasted Oak. If you can help us out with this guy, we'll lead you back to the fence. How's that?
Okay, the oak turns around and sort of blocks the elf in the tree's view of you guys. He bows with great slowness. My lord, spare these mortals for but a moment. They offer me entertainments. The elf in the tree makes this mocking laugh and then steps into the wood and vanishes. Blaster will send back to you. That was my lord, the lord of the wood. He says he will kill you later. But
later's better than sooner.
Yeah. The more we can put off later, the happier I will be.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I feel the sap rising in me. You have entertained me, and I've seen that other humans can be more entertaining. I thought I could only get entertained from humans by crushing and maiming and smashing your castles in war. But Ferric here brought me entertainment with wit, and you have brought me more entertainment with wit. I feel young again. Yes, I will go to the edge of your lands and lure children with riddles. Yes,
I don't think that's what I said.
Don't do any luring.
Was that the subtext of that conversation? I didn't.
Yeah,
that's not what I was. I'm sure they never used those words.
Yeah. Please don't tell anybody that we sent you if that's the plan, because I don't want to be that person.
What you should do is offer prizes to people who will come and try your riddles, and then lots will come. If you're luring people, then people will want to come. That's a bad idea. That's a short-term win, long-term loss situation.
And the words luring and children shouldn't really be in a sentence.
No, don't do that.
No.
I will lure adults with treasure.
Yes, and then let them leave if they don't get the answer right, because then they can tell other people to come too and keep you entertained. If they all die, then nobody spreads the word about you.
Oh, this is very complicated. But yes,
don't kill anybody. Number one rule: don't kill anybody.
But can I name? I was so good at naming. I would reach in and rip the bones and grind them.
Well, if anything comes out of the forest that's dangerous, that might kill the humans, you see, you should protect them from that. So, a little bit of defensive maiming is a good idea.
You think I should maim my kinfolk and defend you humans?
Well, no, not necessarily your kin. I mean, your kinfolk are not going to necessarily be the ones, but if anything unusual or dangerous shows up, you could always protect them. I mean, that's a good way to go.
I shall put it to the test. 2 more riddles have I. Answer 1, I'll give you a treasure as you suggest. Answer a 3rd, and I will aid you in the maiming of my kinfolk. I like maiming.
All right then.
Fail to answer, and I maim you. Yes, this
The
is
answer is definitely onion. This one. Ready?
So, who will answer the next one?
I've done mine. Somebody else's turn.
I'm looking at Jeff because honestly,
I mean, presumably we can. If one of us comes up with it, we can whisper behind our hand, and he won't hear us from all the way up there anyway, will he?
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, I tire. I am very impatient for a tree. For if I stay too long, I might fall asleep, and then I would.
Dear Blastoke, protector of my life as you were, I'm happy to answer your riddle as long as Jürgen, you can just give me the answers. That'd be great. Thanks.
If I come up with it, yeah.
Onion.
Then listen well. I am the greatest treasure chests. In my hoard is all that shall not be forgotten. Nay, not even if all men die. Look you have a key or 2, but unlocking me is often harder work for the strongest. What am I?
The answer is not onion. That's as much help as I can give on that one.
So my first instinct was a book.
Knowledge, you're thinking of.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how the keys work, or unlocking is harder for the strongest, unless we're stereotyping that the barbarians are dumb.
The tree does seem a fairly judgmental and
So potentially it is a book, and he's working on the basis that the barbarians are dumb.
Which is
so my guess would be a book. I think.
I thought book to begin with as well.
Knowledge,
so.
Yeah. Book, knowledge, learning.
Yeah.
Are you saying book to him?
Yes, I am, judging by my 2 compatriots' blank
Yes,
stares.
yes.
Yes, I'm saying book.
Aren't we very
3 of the greatest wits in the world, astounding. Humans are very clever. A treasure, I promise you, a treasure you shall have. He shambles over to the thicket of thorns in the middle, plunges his wooden arm into it, ripping the thorns apart, and comes over and hands you, a sword and also the dismembered arm of Sir Gallerus still attached to it.
I mean, great. We'll take that in the spirit it was intended.
That's very useful.
Now,
thank you.
Answer this, and I will aid you in battle once. They hang me on a gallows to make me live. They shake me, and I shout. I am so pious that fairies and ghosts cannot abide my speech. But in all my long life, I have never said a word. What am I?
My first thought is bell. A bell hangs from a rope, maybe.
Hang from a gallows to make me live. Hang me upside down and I scream. What's that?
Something of the noise, but maybe not. Could we have that one again, please, Tree?
They hang me on a gallows to make me live. They shake me and I shout. I am so pious that fairies and ghosts cannot abide my speech. But in all my long life, I have never said a word. What am I?
Oh, I do. I'm still inclined towards a bell. A bell makes sense, I think. Possibly an iron bell if it's relevant to the fairies and ghouls.
And bells are in churches for pies, maybe.
And bells are in churches.
Yeah. Church,
We can
maybe
go with bell.
specifically maybe a church bell.
Yeah. I mean, we can go with bell, I guess. I mean, we're out of the
I got nothing
possibility
at
of being squished now, so
Yeah.
if we get it wrong.
I
You
bow
are
to the wizard.
indeed great intellects. I've said, call me when you need me in the forest. I will come to your aid.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to this. I mean, Ferric is the greatest. Told me he was the greatest wit of all humans, and he only knows like 2 riddles. And I've answered those every morning for months. I suppose, Ferric, I no longer have any need of you. Reaches out. Do you guys want to ask him not to crush Ferric, or?
Oh, please don't kill him. Let us take him with us. He'll be useful to us.
Yeah, Ferric could be very helpful.
Ferric can go into the villages and bring people to you.
Call me if you need. Call me once if you need me. If you are not already dead.
We will. Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you, Blasted Oak.
And he shambles off into the wood, leaving you with one somewhat shaken tax dodging merchant and one sword still with an arm hanging off it.
Does either one of you wield swords?
I use a sword.
Oh,
I'm not so keen on the arm part of the sword.
yeah. I wonder if we can detach the arm. I wonder if that's a
Does
possibility.
that come with the sword? Can we remove the arm?
You can indeed detach the arm.
Okay, so
Handy dandy.
yeah,
Handy
I'll
dandy.
take the sword. Is it a silver sword or is it just a?
It is a very, very nice ornate sword. It is basically made of magical iron, so it's very good against fairies. 2 things you notice. Number 1, wrapped around the hilt is a piece of parchment.
Map on it.
Oh, let's have a look at the parchment then. Yeah.
The other thing is, when you remove the hand twitches and points down the eastern path.
Then we should.
Oh, it does it?
We
Yeah.
should go the eastern path towards the tower.
Everything seems to be sending us east. It feels
really
like.
do,
It feels
yeah.
like.
Well,
Except
that's
for the parchment.
Yeah, checking the parchment. The parchment is pretty much identical to the one you found earlier. It's a map of the area, again with these hills marked. Looks even to be the same hand that drew it.
Interesting. I wonder if there's an elf. I wonder if there's an elf stroke fae feeding false information to everybody and telling them to go north when that's a bad idea.
Maybe the tunnel is like where you wouldn't want to go, and they want you to go there because that's where they can remove you quietly, so no one can see.
Maybe we should go to the tower, like the deer said.
Maybe.
But Sir Gallerus wanted to take revenge on the Elf Lord, so maybe his hand is directing you where we can go to take revenge for him because now he's dead.
There is that.
Just to throw that one in there.
I mean, to be fair,
my wisdom.
My own driving interest here is to find out more about the Fae, and I'm not really going to do that unless we go and meet some of them. And this has been fascinating so far, but I'm kind of inclined to go east now.
To be fair, taking the arrow from my chest, we've met one. Have the arrow.
We have. And do we have any way of healing you from the arrow you're pulling out of your chest?
It's a scratch at the moment.
You can spend recoveries to heal between combats if you wish.
It seems like a sensible thing to do rather than let Jeff die while we're marching.
You have 25 points of damage.
Yeah.
As
so each recovery have heals 5d8. So if you just spend
one.
Yeah.
One, how many recoveries? So one.
You got 8.
So one recovery gets me 6 points back. Yeah.
Right. Do you want to spend more? You can...
Well, I might need to. Might spend 2 recoveries just to get 11 points back then.
Cool.
And
as you're basically taking a breather and dressing your wound, Ferric, who sort of capers around going, "Ha! Free! Free! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!" I'm still going to die though, aren't I? Because no one ever returns from the wood.
Well, we're going to. Don't worry about it. As if you can give us as much information as you can got about the area, then yeah, we'll survive. It'll be fine.
I mean, I've learned. I have like not traveled far from this clearing because whenever I tried to run, Blasted Oak would catch me and demand me ask him riddles, and all I could think of was the one about the chicken, and he got very tired of that.
Right.
But
so you've really just been with the tree the whole year.
It has been a hard year.
Okay.
Very, but I have heard some whispers, things that whisper in the wood. I know that the Lord of the Wood has a rival in the south, the Prince of Fallen Trees. I don't know what he is, but I heard they quarrel.
Interesting. Okay. So
the south is where the swamp or marsh is, isn't it? And
but
it's really
it's also where the Razor Maiden went looking for an ally.
Oh.
I wonder if the ally was the Prince of Fallen Trees.
That's a good point. Is there any kind of... I mean, there's a path east and there's a path north, but there's no path south. So we'd have
No,
to...
we came from that direction though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you could. There is basically a path southwest, but I would just be back to your starting point, and then you could. There's
Go
no
down,
direct path south, certainly you've seen, and the map is unhelpful.
So suddenly we have options to go in every direction, really.
Yeah. It's beginning to look like maybe that map wants people to go a certain way and not the other way, even if the other way isn't. Maybe it's not as dangerous as the map leads you to believe, because whoever's writing it wants people to go a certain way.
If they've been doing that every year and sending people north every year and nobody's ever come back, perhaps that's why.
That might be why. Yeah.
So maybe we should go south and see what's down there.
Maybe it's not as bad as the map says it is.
Let's do it.
He was my best friend.
Let's go south.
I loved him.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's go south and look for the Razor Maiden and the Prince of Fallen Trees. I'm in.
That sounds like a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
Are you going to go south by basically plunging into the thick wood?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yes, that does.
Trek all the way back to the fence.
As a ranger, no, we'll trek through the normal bit we've just come from and not just march through the wood.
Excellent.
What I would also like to do now, particularly the ranger, is just be on the lookout for the elves in trees with arrows.
Yes, I shall. Now that I know they're there, I can.
It's useful to know.
It surprised us all.
Yes.
Particularly Jeff.
In that case, Ranger, give me a rangery roll there, please. Wisdom based, I guess.
Oh, blimey. I got 22.
Right. You, as you set off, you're scanning the treetops, and occasionally you do indeed see a wisp of green movement in the trees if you're being stalked. It looks like it, whatever it was expecting you to either head north or head into the forest, and is somewhat irritated by your trekking back southwest. The closer you get to the iron fence, it seems to basically lag further and further behind you. And then after a few minutes, you catch a glimpse of it on a treetop far behind you, and then it vanishes and you see it no more. So you're back after a while at your starting point, pretty much.
Is Blasted Oak here? Has he got here before us?
You have not. Blasted Oak appears to have departed. Presumably, the classic fairy tale thing of when you call him, he will show up instantly.
Lovely. Cool. Let's head south. We've ditched the man with the thorny arrows.
Cool.
We're heading south. I'm just going to take a little parchment map I've got and just start tearing it into little pieces. Scattering.
Well, I mean, it's useful. It's useful to have. It may or may not be accurate, but who knows?
Now little pieces.
We'll have confetti for when we win at the end. We can throw it in the air.
Ignoring the map and the alluring towers to the east pointed to by mysterious dead knights, you head south into the bog. The further you go south, the wetter and more miserable it gets. The forest turns from this, spooky, twisted, but possibly quite like sylvan loveliness into this twisted foul bog. There are leeches.
Excellent.
Right. And you keep trudging and trudging south, and eventually roll Steve, roll d6 there, please. Again, don't do it. Cool. You basically, out of the corner of your eye, you catch a glimpse of that green flicker again, but what happens, it just vanishes. And you plunge into the bog, and you see up ahead, I think castle is one way to describe it. It is this giant fallen log, the size of a castle, and it appears to have been not so much carved as grown or rotted into little sort of minarets and towers and spires.
Interesting. That looks like somewhere where the Prince of Fallen Trees would live.
Yes, it does. It sounds very fallen tree.
Yeah,
it does.
The man is on theme.
Yeah, he is. He knows what he likes.
He does. He's got a brand and he's working it.
He's going to stick to it.
Cool. There is no visible road or path to it, so you just have to slog through the mud. Can I have another rangery roll there to avoid badness of sloggings?
What am I rolling?
Dexterity, please.
I got a 21. Bloody hell.
Right.
I like this dice. I'm keeping this dice.
You're now skating on top of the bog.
And glide along the bog like a...
You're Legolas, aren't you now? But instead of snow, it's bog.
With your attunement to woodland creatures of all kinds, you can able to spot where the frogs jump and basically there are stepping stones through the marsh which you can navigate.
I like frogs. They're very nice.
And the legions are talking to you as well.
They're not very interesting, really, for long-term companionship, but for spectacle.
And they make interesting noises.
They do, yes, and they keep the flies away.
Well, they eat them. They don't keep them away.
Well, yeah, but that keeps them away.
I guess it with you. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I see it.
As you're trekking south, there's a thick mist rising up the bog, so you can't see much above you, but you occasionally hear sort of tittering laughter and the swoop of wings. Do you want to do anything, or just press on towards the entrance to the castle?
Does it sound? Do they sound like dragony wings? By any chance?
No, they're birdie wings.
Birdie wings?
Yes.
Well, they're birds.
The feathers.
Can we just look at? Can we see them? I take it we can see them in the sky, or are they? No.
Give me a perception roll there.
Everyone or just Jeff?
Just Jeff, who's scanning the clouds.
18.
You look up, and for a moment you catch a glimpse of one of them flapping around the castle, and it's got birdie wings, but that's not a birdie body. That's a human body.
I will relay such to the ranger, who obviously knows everything about animals. It's definitely
that is an animal.
That's not an animal.
But its body is human.
That's out of my remit.
Assuming it's Fey, do I know? Is it something I would recognise?
It's
with my
some
extensive
sort of
knowledge.
harpy-like creature.
Okay. Harpies are not good.
They're not. They're quite bad.
Yeah, we don't want that. None of that, thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Please don't. Just go.
Okay, so we should keep an eye on those swooping down on us as we approach the castle.
So
The people watching you then swooping down on you, but you get to the castle gates, and it's not so much a gate as sort of a curtain of sort of like your fungal creepers hanging down.
Ew. Ranger, you go first.
I was expecting that after last time. Yeah, that's fair.
Fungal creepers, and you ran away from the tree, and I fixed that. So you're up.
Yeah, I regret nothing. I will examine the fungal creepers, which isn't a sentence I thought I was going to have to say today, but there we go.
Basically, it looks like they've grown in imitation of a portcullis and castle gates. As there's one set which are like doors, and one set that is a grid like portcullis. But in both cases, it's easier to brush them aside.
Oh, so we can just go through.
You just either cut your way through or just basically shove them aside. There.
I don't want to cut my way through in case that annoys whoever this belongs to.
Okay.
Pushing them gently aside.
Are you pushing them with your hand, with a stick, with the sword?
With a sword. Or how about with Ferric? With a sword.
Ferric, you go first.
Ferric, come move the vines for us, will you, man? No, I'll use the sword because that would be cruel.
Okay.
You might need Ferric for sacrifice later. So
do you want to use your regular sword or Sir Gallerus' sword?
The really nice magical sword.
Cool. As you basically touch the sword off the creepers, it burns them slightly, and they sort of writhe and shy away from it. So clearing the path very efficiently.
Okay.
Cool.
That'll be an iron sword.
Yep.
So it's Fey.
Yeah.
The whole
castle is sort of like your Fey enchantment.
So it's not a natural formation; it's magic.
Yep. Stepping into the castle, there's basically one huge chamber inside this fallen log, all flooded. So you're wading through mud. But up above this, so you're basically inside a giant hollow log, effectively. There's dim shafts of sunlight shining down from basically rents and bulls or holes in the log. You can hear more tittering and laughing and flapping of birdie wings up there. So there's harpies nested somewhere in the roof above you. And Ranger, as you're slugging along, you feel that basically the slope drops off very precipitously just ahead of you. So basically you're on the edge of this huge, deep pool.
That was fortunate. I didn't just go straight over. Can I see in the water, or is it like muddy muck?
It's muddy and stagnant, but you stare in, and you get the distinct impression more from a feel than what you can see. That there's something down there.
Okay. Maybe I should go and take a look. I should dive in and go and have a look. It's suitable, or is it
unwise decisions I've ever heard in a D&D.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think.
Just not the wisest thing I've caught.
It's not. It is more like stagnant, fetid water than anything else.
No, I don't want to be. I thought there was. No, I'm not. I'm not diving into.
It's not a crystal Caribbean pool for you to dive into.
Yeah, if it was like a nice water and it was something at the bottom, then that's fine. But no. Does Ferric know anything? Can we ask him if he's heard anything about all of this since he's been with the
all I know is that the Lord of the Wood has a rival in the Southland, but they weren't very clear. The whispering voices in the wood that I heard at night when the tree wasn't tormenting me about riddles.
Okay, so we're kind of stuck where we are. So we either go forward into the stagnant pool of fetid water, or we stay here forever and this is our new home.
Can we go around the pool? Is it just?
Could we go around the pool? Yeah.
You can skirt around things.
Skirting seems to be our way of doing things today.
I look forward to skirting around the pool.
Yes. I think
cool.
We can try to skirt the pool, definitely.
Who is leading the skirting?
Me, isn't it? I'm going to be leading the
I'm not forgiving you for running away from the tree anytime soon.
I didn't run. I just backed away carefully.
You sidled.
Leaving you alone with this murderous tree.
I think the second half of that sentence is more important than the first.
Okay. Yes, I am leading the skirting excursion.
Cool. You very, very carefully skirt. And as you go around, there is you come across two things. Number one, there's a gap in the wall of this chamber inside the hollow log. It looks like staircase strong, but like a tunnel that winds its way up like a worm boring through the wood. You guys goes up to the upper section of this fallen log castle where the birdie seedy things are lurking. If you want to basically head up to the next level. The other thing is there is a corpse nailed impaled on the wall a bit beyond the tunnel mouth. It's rotted and like covered in fungal growths, but you can definitely make out basically the remnants of armor and the remnants of a razor-edged sword clutched in the rotting hand.
I think we found the Razor Maiden then.
Yeah, I think we probably have.
Yes.
But that didn't work out so well for her.
So her ally was not an ally.
Either of you guys want this sword?
No.
I'm
got
not
one.
a sword user.
I don't.
I've got
Yes.
a
Then
nice-
again, so far on this adventure, nobody's a sword user. So hey, we've done a lot of skirting and a lot of avoiding.
we have run away from things and
Yes.
and
We have successfully not died,
yeah.
mostly by avoiding conflict.
Jeff, the monk came close to
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was it. Do you think we should go the stairs or continue to
Let's go up the stairs.
up the stairs? I think up the stairs seems like a sensible.
Well, we're here now, aren't we? It would be a shame
Let's
us
go
to
up the
leave.
stairs. You go
You know.
first.
Okay, I'm gonna take the stairs. Shall I grab the sword on the way up?
Um,
I've got
why
two
not?
swords. No,
Dual wielding.
Three
Why not?
swords.
I've got my sword, and then I've got the sword that burns magic, and then I'd have this razor sword as well. I am abundant with swords.
That does sound impressive. What kind of weaponry have you got, Jeff?
I have my fists and feet, all 14 toes of them.
Oh, you're a martial artist. Okay, cool.
I did nothing else.
Okay, I'm going to try and grab the sword as we go up the stairs.
Cool. So basically, leading to them at the foot of the stairs, you want to basically wade across a bit more to where the body is on the wall. And cool.
What is she? I've just had a thought. In what way is she pinned to the wall? Does it look like maybe something shot out of a wall and like a trap went off and killed her?
It's hard to tell from this angle. You would every time I see that she is like stuck to the wall with this like fungal growth all over her. And you get the impression that something basically impaled her, and then the fungus spread from that. But
So
without
we should
a careful examination, you can't tell exactly what the projectile was or what it was.
we should be aware of traps
Yes,
going past her. I think.
yes, I will be aware of traps since I'm in front.
We can all be aware.
Yeah, I'll be aware first.
Yes.
You'll be aware first. Yes.
Unless it's a really clever trap, which always gets a second person, so I'll go last and guard the rear. Unless it goes at the third person, in which case I'll go in the middle.
Are you all going over to her, or just Bearshan?
We're all going up, aren't we? And we should all.
We should all go.
We-
I mean,
yeah.
that's all or nothing. Total party kill or nothing.
Yeah.
The three of you wade to the stagnant water over towards the corpse of the Razor Maiden. She's there. And basically, you can tell with your expert dragon knowledge, Jürgen, that a fairy dragon of some sort swatted her. You can tell by the claw marks across the chest where the fungus is growing out of. That something went wham and knocked her across the room so hard that she landed here and died.
Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if the prince of fallen trees is a dragon. That would be cool because I can chat to him if it is.
Anyway, Steve, are you going to try and rip the sword from her hand?
Yeah, I'm here now. Might as well.
Give me a strength test then.
Oh, I've got good strength. Oh, blimey. I got 23. I really like this dice.
Right. You take the sword and rip. The body comes away from the wall and tries to basically bear hug you, and if it had caught you, it would have basically toppled forward with you wrapping itself around you and push you back into the pool of water. But because you are so strong and mighty, it falls forward, bear hugs you, and basically meets the immovable object. So, a yellowish light gleams in the eye sockets of the fungus-infected corpse. At the same moment, this pale light begins to glow the depths of the pool. And you get this sort of echoed effect where there's this strange noise from the base of the pool, and his voice speaks from the fungal corpse of the razor maiden. And Jürgen, because you can speak to dragons, you can understand the voice that's coming from down the pool. You can't, but you can understand what the fungal maiden is saying.
Okay.
The fungal maiden is, or she's repeating the words of the dragon in the pool. Mortals, you trespass in my domain. Have you come to die?
I will, in dragon, I will say no. We came here because we heard about you and we were fascinated to meet you. We were attacked by what I understand is your enemy, the king of the forest. I forgot what he was called.
The North of the Wood, basically.
He attacked us, and we were told that you were somebody much more worthy of coming to see and to perhaps form an allyship with, and so we have come to meet you, not to attack.
The light in the fungal corpse's eyes fades away, and she sort of sloughs away from Bearshan. From above, there's a fluttering of wings, and these strange voices start singing. Right. Jeff, what is Da Cafe's mental defense?
16.
Cool. And what is Bearshine's defense?
Mental defense. 15.
Cool. Both of you guys feel the strange urge to follow the song up the winding staircase.
Obviously, that seems
Right,
perfect.
at that point, can I bring out the panpipes and join in?
That would distract everybody.
Do you want to be the pampas and sit and try that?
I think that I should play the panpipe. I think that's, I can hear this music. It's attractive. I love this music. It's the best music ever. And you need to join in with it, don't you? Jam along, as it were. With Elf again.
While you're the stairs, Jürgen, what do you think?
Thank you for mentioning the panpipes because it made me think of something. I'll bring up a coin.
Right.
Because dragons love gold. I'm going to say, I brought you a gift. This is specifically just for you, to honor you as your guests, and it is a hundreds of years old, as you'll see, coin, very rare, certainly where I come from. We bring it as an offering to you.
Are you going to drop it in the pool or?
Yes.
Cool. Right. Things that happen fairly quickly. Jeff, you play the panpipes so badly and so discordantly that the song of the harpies is rapidly broken. And there's like a irritated and disconsolate or discordant wailing from above, going, "What the hell?"
It's the tone deaf monkey.
Through the coin in, it splashes with far more force and weight than a little coin should, and these huge ripples splashing across the pool. So you're sinking down like a falling star into the dark waters. And then there's this hum of satisfaction.
That sounds good.
I had not thought that mortals could be so polite. The waters part of this huge dragon head rises up. I am pleased. The other supplicant was unworthy. She came alone, but you, 3 mortal champions of old, who know how to be polite to their betters. Yes, we can do business, I think.
It was the music, wasn't it? That's what it was. It was the song.
Yeah.
That's what they loved. It was
definitely the music.
It was definitely the music. Yeah,
The-
I'm taking that
my,
one. I'm calling that a victory for me.
my antlers have done bugger all. Except I'm quite disappointed that they've done nothing to help with the dragon or the harpies.
For
But
all you know,
The doe was attracted to you, though. That's why it took.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
but also, for all you know, the king of the forest didn't shoot you because he thought you might be partier.
That's maybe. The king of the forest is apparently a moron. So
From above, looking down from above, you're all antlers, man. That's all you can see.
Right. The Prince of Fallen Trees extends his head towards you, O Jurgen. I wish to rule this wood. In 200 years, no mortal champion has succeeded in killing the Lord. He has slain them all. But I have a treasure, a rot stone, that can ruin him.
Indeed.
I will entrust it to you, and you will kill him for me. Yes?
We will certainly try. Thank you.
The stone must be placed in a wound or swallowed by him. Only then will he become mortal and killable. How you accomplish this, I do not know. But you have proved yourself intelligent and witty. Doubtless you will have some ruse. The
how big
dragon.
is this rock?
He spits out this sort of like thumb-sized piece of stone.
Okay. And we have to place it in a wound of his or have him swallow it.
Precisely.
Okay. Excellent. And is there anything you can tell us about his weaknesses that would help us to kill him?
Does he have a fetish for sandwiches, perhaps? Or pork pies that we could perhaps,
Does he
like a pepperami? I have lots of pepperami.
We apparently have an abundance of them, and
He comes. The dragon's head sinks back down to the water.
Uh-huh.
And who hasn't ruled? Who? Actually, Justin, your position. You roll d6 now, please.
Oh, joy. 3.
Cool. You're not impaled by an arrow, but
That's
basically,
always good.
these two are on the stairs. You're on the edge of the pool, so you can see out the gate of this fallen tree castle, and you can see out of the mists, out in the bog you crossed earlier, catch a glimpse of a greenish glow, the same greenish glow you saw in the wood earlier.
He's come looking for us. All right, then.
Exactly.
Let's have him. Let's do it.
right?
I'll tell the boys. Boys,
yeah.
come back down the stairs.
Do we not need to spend in a time on a tradition of every RPG ever at least half an hour discussing a plan before we all just rush in? Is that not?
I think. I mean, if he's going to come for us, let's have him.
I have 3 swords.
3 swords.
I am good to go.
I've got a stone
You've
about
started.
the size of my thumb.
Would Ferric like one of my swords so that he can defend himself and or attack first.
He'll happily take your crappy sword, the non-magic
Thank
one.
you. Enjoy the crappy sword.
He will not contribute, but will hold it and wield it.
Yeah.
So now you're now dual wielding the magic sword and the razor sword.
I am dual wielding a magic sword and a razor sword.
Sweet.
So is the plan basically to, as soon as the Lord of the Wood turns up, attack him here with your back to a bottomless pool, possibly containing a dragon?
Probably not. That's when you say it like that, it doesn't sound wise, does
Yeah,
it?
this sounds like a bad idea. Is it possible to talk to him and lull him into a false sense of security
Your one interaction so far has been him showing up,
and
shooting
shooting
him up in
arrows?
the chest, and then going away because the tree asked him to.
Yes.
So
maybe this is
as trees.
It's time for your antlers to come into play, Steve. Your antlers need to be useful. Come on.
They've got to do something.
Offer them the antlers or something.
Yeah. I'll offer him the antlers in exchange. Well, just offer him, see what happens. It can't be worse, can it? Than getting shot in the chest with an arrow.
How are you offering him the antlers? Because you guys are inside this castle. He is currently outside, beyond the fungal curtains.
We should probably go outside, really, shouldn't we?
We should 100% go outside, and then I will offer outside the antlers to him as a tribute or gift or whatever he wants to call it.
Okay, so you're going to head out. Is it? Are you going to hold on out before you as you emerge? Are you going to basically wear them with your head and then take them off as you get closer?
I'm going to wear them and take them off outside. Just in case. I don't want to have them in my hand whilst I have two swords, which are pretty cool.
Right.
And also I have to skirt a pool, go back again.
It's true. So you're going to basically head back down, out the big gates of the castle. Hope he's there as opposed to having buggered off again.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Right.
When you put it like that, that sounds silly. But yeah, that's
I mean, let's be honest. There's a valid way of presenting everything we've done as ridiculous. So.
You can make everything sound fancier in a fantasy game by saying you're sallying forth from the castle.
Yeah.
Cool.
That.
So you emerge from the castle, and you can see the greenish glow across the marsh. He appears to have retreated some small bit away from the castle, back towards the tree line.
I assume that the trees is where he has power, and he has less power outside of the trees. Hence, he wants to stay there.
He's a lot more visible outside of the trees as well, which is obviously a disadvantage for him.
So the trees is where we do not want to pick a fight with the guy who likes to snipe people with arrows from tree line.
Yes.
So maybe I can take off my amazing headdress and offer it to him.
Or I can play a tune to entice him back to us.
We can call that Plan B.
Cool. Yeah, he does. When you like to take off the antlers, the greenish glow in the distance does stop, and you get the distinct impression that yes, he is interested in reclaiming those antlers.
Come and get them. They're all yours.
Do you basically sort of lay them on the just outside the castle, or?
Could you hear me if I shouted?
He did seem to have fairly keen hearing, so you guess probably
okay, so I will shout that. Please take this gift of these antlers and reclaim them if they are yours. And I will leave them on the steps and will come back towards the fungal entrance. So there's a little bit of distance between us so we can rush him. No, not rush him. No, we're not doing that bit. Just the leaving there. Yeah. No rushing. No. Perfectly safe.
Cool. Give me a charisma test there. Charisma test there, please.
I got 7.
Right. The green glow flickers and vanishes.
Oh.
That wasn't good. Well, he clearly wants your antlers.
He clearly wants the antlers.
We just need to go and tempt him with the antlers.
After a few minutes, it reappears again, and you hear splashing something approaches across the marsh.
Ah, he's coming for them, is he?
Ah.
Through the mists, you see a small, ugly creature with a bright red cap on its head and a big axe in its hand. The creature appears distinctly unimpressed at having to trudge across this bog, especially as it is 3 foot tall. So whereas you guys are able to wade, it is up to its neck, going stupid bog. What? You got some address for me?
Who are you?
I'm his Nibs' servant.
Have you come to get the antlers?
He sent me to get the antlers, yeah.
Okay. Do you not need a hand taking them back? Because you got to carry them back through the bog.
I'm carrying them and my giant axe.
And your giant axe. You can't miss the giant axe. I mean, it's very, very impressive.
Is it? It's twice the size of me. I mean, I'm freaking tall.
Genuinely, I was impressed just watching you walk over here.
Thank you. You're very polite for people. I've eviscerated lots of humans, and they weren't half so polite.
Well,
stop chopping me. But
when you don't eviscerate people, this is what happens. Yeah, I know. It's a strange thing, isn't it? It really melts the mind.
It's
a whole paradigm shift for you.
So do you have a small raft or something for me? Is this to get back?
Well, I've got pan pipes. They count as a raft.
Not that small. Rather than bloody Sprite. I'm a crusty cat, please.
Well, maybe we could come back with you carrying the antlers and give them to your master. And we can talk to him and kind of say, please stop trying to kill us.
Oh, yeah, you can say that. He'll go, no, but yeah, sure. If I can,
at least we could talk then, hopefully, and figure out why he wants to kill us.
It's your funeral, quite literally.
I don't know what else to do right now.
I'm on board with this. It's fine. Let's do it.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm on board. We've suddenly become peace envoys, and I'm all behind it.
In that case, let's go and sow peace across the land.
I think that's what it is.
Let's talk away out of this because it's gone so well.
I didn't need to spells. What spells? I didn't need to know any spells.
Didn't get killed by a tree.
It's all good.
So
survived the tree, survived the dragon.
Yeah.
It's easy.
We are apparently just amazing at talking our way out of trouble.
Yep.
Or playing the panpipes out of trouble.
Or playing the panpipes, apparently.
The little creature introduces itself as a crusty cat. So it's the servant of the Lord of the Wood. And Lord of the Wood is sent to fetch these antlers. But if you guys would drag the antlers across to the wood, then it's more than happy to devote its attention to carrying this giant axe. It's also very, very happy to be heading back towards more solid ground. And complains vociferously about the horribleness of this bog. It was ruled by a big stinky dragon, and he never comes down here normally anyway. Do you guys want to ask it anything as you trudge through the mud?
I don't know what he's likely to tell us.
I'm trying. Yeah. I just. Where does he live?
Kind of taxi driver questions. You've been busy on long? How's the shift
Going anywhere nice this summer?
No, I'm up in the Lord's castle with his
Do you live in the tower?
Yeah, that's where it's hunting lodge. He comes here every year.
Do you have anything to do with these maps we keep finding to show a tunnel?
Map?
No.
No, I mean, he always gets his humans. Every year they come in, they go, we're beating this year, and then he goes, chop, they're dead. See, he takes their heads, I sticks their heads in the wall, and they talk.
Oh, he puts their heads on the wall so they can talk.
Yeah.
What are they talking
about? Dust them. I mean, 9/10 of the year, and they're dusting heads and minding his castle. Then he comes over, and there's more heads to find in the wall. Look, that's average of 2.5 heads a year. 200 years. It's a lot of heads.
Wait, did you say 2.5 heads a year?
Yeah.
So he has a half a head a year.
No, because like somebody gets all
two, and then
three heads, somebody gets only one head.
and then
Average,
the other one he just has straight down the middle.
Yeah, or it falls off or gets lost or something. Or some doesn't have it.
Heads aren't known for.
It's 2.5 an average then, really. Sometimes
Oh, yeah,
it gets
yeah.
2, sometimes it gets
Right.
3.
Estimate.
It's
Yeah.
average. Yeah. Okay. That makes some sense.
So
Some sense, but
yeah. So but you didn't get any of the last one.
Well, we got one.
Oh no, you got the guy in the thorns, didn't he? That was
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did take his. They did take his head, didn't they? That's right.
disappointing
take the
year
other
for the Lord,
twos.
really. That was a bit
Yes.
disappointing, isn't it? He tried, and
At this point, he glances over.
his
at
average
Ferris.
is way down, which is getting the 1. I mean, it's gonna impact his score overall.
Anyway,
His kill
you're
death ratio is
running closer to the edge of the wood, and you can see in the treetops this tall greenish figure unstringing his bow.
Okay.
Unstringing his bow.
Or not stringing. Taking out his bow. Doing bow readiness things.
Okay.
Stringing his bow.
Can we try to talk to him and offer him back his antlers, which he clearly wants very much, and find out why he's trying to kill us? Maybe if he's willing to share that information.
So what do you want to say to him?
You've got your antlers. Why are you trying to kill us? Please stop.
It amuses me, delights me.
Amusement. I understand that.
That's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
It is a bit of a worry, and I'm beginning to regret our decisions.
Well, we have a tradition where we come from that perhaps you will enjoy before going into combat with an adversary, where we share. It's called the breaking of bread. I have some bread here. I wonder if you'd be interested in performing the ceremony with us before we resume any hostilities.
And you've got pepperami as well. That's not
We have got pepperami. If you,
I can make you a hot dog. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
I've
well,
got no tomato sauce, no mustard, but you know.
I listen to the whispers of my wood. All my servants and subjects agree that you're the most polite mortals to have come here in many a year.
Well, that's nice to be told.
It's lovely.
We aim to please, don't we? It's my first year at the temple. You understand? This is new to me. Absolutely fantastic.
He turns around, steps into the tree he was standing on, and then steps out of it again at ground level and walks towards you. I will humor you before I murder you.
Oh,
Lovely.
very kind of you.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm going to slip that little stone into the big chunk of bread that I'm giving him, and say it's tradition to just take a big bite chunk out of it and swallow it as whole as you can. That's what you want to do. And I'll do the same with mine. See, like this, and I'll take a big chunk and chomp on it and swallow it as quickly as I can. Quick swig of water to wash it down, obviously.
Give me a dexterity check there for your sleight of hand. Just put a roll one.
Nat 20.
Clearly, with your magic or prestidigitation, you're an expert at spiking puzzles.
I have like 40 fingers and you can only see 10 of them.
Right. You sneak the rock stone into the bread and pepperami, break it up, share it with the Lord of the Wood. Swallows it.
I'm going to just sidle over to Steve. As soon as he swallows it, hit
Yeah. Stabby.
him.
Okay, roll for initiative at this point, I guess.
What we're rolling for, sorry?
Initiative. For all of you, because you're human, it's 2d20, take the best one, and add your dex plus level.
Okay.
You get
15.
15 I will.
20.
Oh,
So what's the total? Was
I got
total 20 or
got 14, 15, and 20.
is that adding on your dex level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the dex added, I got 15.
With the dex, I got a 20.
Okay, 1 second. So 15 was Jurgen. And Jeff, what you got?
14.
13, is it? Right.
14. Yes, mate.
14. Right. Cool. He takes a bite. As he swallows, you can see this, like, glowing darkness sliding down his green throat. And he goes, he spits and chokes on it. You go for your swords, and he flings himself backwards into the tree trunk and reappears high up in the trees, still hacking and coughing, even as he tries to draw his bow, because he rolled a ridiculously good initiative. And because I will not shoot at Steve, because Steve has the antlers, and the antlers may well do something with Fletcher. So instead, he will fire at everyone else, because he gets strength 2 attack. So, 1 at Jurgen the Wizard. What's your armor class, Jurgen?
The armor class is 15.
Excellent. He hits with a 3.
3 damage.
No, with a roll of a 3. Do you want
wonderful.
to use your shield spell, but probably won't work given you only to roll 3 to hit you? Or
I mean, it does seem like a bit of a waste of time on the basis that you only need
That's
to
a 25 damage.
25.
Yep.
Okay.
And on El Monk, yeah, he's going to hit you as well. 28. So it's another 25 damage for you. The same arrow shoots you again. But he has swallowed the stone that makes him mortal, so he can be mortified and murdered.
Excellent.
Right, and Bearshine, you're first. He's
Okay.
up at me. How are we going to get him down? What are we going to do?
I'm going to do a terrain stunt,
Cool.
and I'm going to throw a rock at him and try and see if I can knock him off of the... Now that he's human, he probably doesn't have the dexterity and agility that he once had.
Yeah, let's check exactly how they work, but it seems definitely doable. Basically, do I roll or do you roll? Injure. Yeah, it's GM and it's that is perfectly fine. Yeah, basically, he was already off balance when he went up there. So even as he's like teleporting out of the tree and firing his bow, your rock is already in the air. It's a rock taken from the swamp. It is the slippiest, slimiest, fungliest rock imaginable. And the king of the tree, or the Lord of the Wood, with his elven grace, steps in it and goes, wah, thump, and lands heavily at your feet.
I'm
Nice.
going to stab him in the head with my sword. Or both swords. Let's go crazy. Let's use both swords.
Okay, roll to hit.
So I roll 5d8.
D20 to attack first.
Oh, yeah.
If you're using both swords, basically you get two attacks.
I'm going to use both swords.
Okay.
I'm going to use... Well, actually, no. I'll tell you what. I'm going to do 2 attacks instead.
Yeah.
So that's 5d6, isn't it?
No, but you roll 2d20 for each attack, and then the damage less, you get to make 2 attacks, basically.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
roll first attack, 1d20. Plus 10 for you.
I got 14.
That's a miss.
Bollocks.
And the second one.
I got a 19.
Total, is it? So 9 plus 10, is it?
Oh no!
Is that added your modifier?
Yeah, you're adding 10 onto each of these.
Yeah, I got 29 then.
Okay, so the first one was a natural 14, was it?
It was natural 14. Yeah.
Okay, so they in fact both hit.
Oh, okay. Cool. Excellent.
So that is 5d6. That's 10d6. And because using the magic sword on the first one, that's bad stuff happens to him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 10d6.
Yeah.
Do you just want the total number?
Yep.
So that's 10. That's 6, 10. That's 20. That's 30. That's 40. 47.
Jeebus. Right. You stab him
Well,
twice
he's
in the
dead,
face
isn't he?
with your magic swords. He is unimpressed and hurt. Next is Jurgen.
If I hit it with a lightning bolt, am I in danger of hurting Steve?
No, the one spell that can hit Steve, if you do that, is the Fireball of Cast Recklessly,
Fireball.
which is not an issue here.
Awesome. Lightning bolt it is.
Cool. For lightning bolt, it is with a ranger summary thing.
It says it's a plus 10 versus.
Yeah. So what do you think plus 10?
Oh, that's not great. 16.
That is unfortunately a miss. So it's 78 damage and halved.
Okay. I have 78. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. 13. 21. 25 halved is 12 and a half. It's not a lot. Is it?
Okay. He is hurt, but not that hurt. And finally, Cafe.
Well, this is moment to shine now. Whips out the pan pipes, throws them away, and get a big shout. And so I get 3 attacks, don't I? Is that how it works?
No, basically you have
1 for each round.
Yeah, basically you do a opening attack. How monks work is basically all these different moves, and you start with an opening attack, and the next round you do a flow attack, and then after that you do a finisher.
Right. Okay.
So
Well,
pick your opening attack.
My opening attack is just going to have to be Springing Mantis.
Okay.
Which is clearly it's a little form like this, and I'm going to jump in and or something or other.
So plus 9 to hit.
Yep. Which gives me 17.
It's a miss.
Oh, excellent. 5 damage if I miss.
Cool.
I just got him with the fingertips there. But...
Yeah. Or the toes.
Right. All 14 of them.
Now, next round, the escalation die, which is in 38, is D6, goes to 1, so you're adding +1 to all your attacks. But he is faster, and he is going to he will use his Whip of Thorns on Bearshine. What's your armor class?
Armor class is 22.
Go. Right, that is 10 damage on a miss. And he will also use his green walk ability. He touches the tree and vanishes, teleporting back up to the branch which you knocked him off. And he heals 4 hit points. Right, so he's back up on the treetop, but looking rather unsteady and battered. What are you going to do, Bearshine?
I'm going to cast Strength of the Gods, which lets an ally add +4d6, or everyone +2 d6. So I'm going to do it for everybody, so we all get an extra +2d6.
2 damage. Cool. Radio. Next is Jurgen.
Well, now he's back up in the tree, and my friends are not near him. It's fireball time, baby.
Okie
Big fireball, which is also, I think, +10. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Big hit. Come
Plus
on.
11 because of the escalation die.
Sorry?
Plus 11 because of the escalation die.
Oh, sweet. Then I rolled 22.
That's a hit.
Sweet. So this is I'm just going to say this out loud because it's fun to say. 10d10 damage.
Yeah, 1 second. We'll strength the goals add on to magic as well. Yeah. Well, just melee attacks. Oh well.
So I don't get
the
the
melee attack.
So I just get my 10d10. That's what you said.
Just your 10d10, yeah.
D6.
No, I don't get it because it's only for melee attacks.
Oh, is it? Oh, God, you're
Yeah.
right. It is. Yeah. Well, I'm sure 10d10 will be enough.
I'm also going to set the trees on fire so we can.
You're going to nuke
teleport.
the forest, yes.
Pretty
I'm
much.
just going to take a step back then.
Right. Okay. What do we got? Right. 9, 11, 18, 25, 26, 35, 39, 39, 49, 64.
I did 5 damage. I should have kept the pound out.
Okay, there is this cataclysmic explosion. Here's how the battle has gone from the Lord of the Woods perspective so far. Get poisoned, teleport up to treetop, get knocked down and stabbed by a ranger, teleport back up to treetop. Treetop's not there anymore. Cafe, having leapt like the mantis, your foe vanishes, the world explodes, and then your foe goes thump back down in front of you again. What are you going to do? What's your flow attack going to be?
My flow attack was going to be.
It doesn't have to be the mantis one. It can be anyone you want.
No. I was going for Wind Horse Shakes Mane, just because I like the sound of it.
Okay.
But I no longer need to fly up into the treetops to hit him because he's now down at my feet.
Yep.
It says for either move for free or plus 4 PD. I don't know what PD stands for, but we'll come back to that.
The other option is if you do Pincer Whirl's shot, it does extra damage because he's a big guy.
Oh, well, in that case, let's do that.
Yep. So it's plus 10 to hit.
27.
Die.
So it hit 27 is a hit.
Yep.
It's 5d10 plus 4.
Plus 2d6 as well because of the strength of the gods.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I've only got 1d10. 8, 15, 24. Can add up. 27. 32. Plus 4 is 36. 42. 46.
Right.
That's just a little bash, pincers on his ears. Then he comes down.
Right. There is a crack as his skull is shattered by your blow.
Yes!
Victory.
Falls backwards. Clutching his head, you can see sap oozing from between his wounds as he's dying. From the castle behind you, you hear this gurgling, mocking laughter from the King of Fallen Trees, or Prince of Fallen Trees. And as he's dying, the Lord of the Forest crawls towards Bearshine, picks up the antler crown, and offers it to you. Clearly, he's saying basically, don't let that dragon become Lord of the Forest. You take over instead.
I will take the antler crown. I quite liked wearing it, to be fair, so it was all right.
So are you going to
I'm
put
not
it
really
on?
sure what else to do with it. I don't want to go, no, mate, you die there. If he's suggesting that this dragon is going to get really powerful and really angry if he takes control of both.
Dragon's my mate. It's all good.
Okay, so should we just let him die without me taking
the thorn.
Take the antlers, shouldn't I?
Antlers.
Take the antlers. Become the king. Become rule.
Yeah, I'll just take the antlers. It's fine.
The animals love you after all. You know.
Yeah,
you could,
I see
you
nothing
could
that
be
can go wrong from this.
You could be a benign dictator. It's going to be fine.
Oh, I would not be.
Whoever went wrong accepting a gift of magic antlers from a dying forest?
Exactly. I'm going to pick up the
very
panpipe and get the mud out and start playing a tune for you.
We don't need that bit. But thank you.
Right. Are you taking on the king's burden or the king's authority?
Yeah, you know what, I will.
Cool. Basically, take the enters and they fuse to your skull.
Oh, well, that's new.
There is this gurgling, thrashing roar of anger from the swamp. It's like hot waves of swamp water gush around your feet, but then subside after a few minutes. There are words spoken that only one living human can understand. Exactly. You know just how pissed that fairy dragon is that his attempt to take over the wood has been foiled by pesky adventurers. So, what is the new regime in the wood going to be now that you have?
Well, it's going to be a lot less people having their heads cut off and stuck on walls, I think.
I think that sounds like a good policy.
I quite like to keep the guy with the axe around, though. He sounds like he knows what he's doing, and he sounds like he's good middle management, and you need that.
Fair enough. Keep Krusty Cap around.
Yeah, he didn't get involved in the fight either, so he clearly had no real allegiance to the guy we just murdered.
And what about Jurgen and Dafe or Cafe?
Well, I came over here to explore and learn more about the Fae, so I'm up for hanging around.
Cool. And Cafe,
I have panpipes. My mission now is to travel the world.
And learn how to play the panpipes.
Travel the world.
Yeah.
And spread the message of my temple through my gift of music.
excellent.
To everybody.
Gift.
And meanwhile, in a tunnel some distance to the north, Baron Kyrus and his knights sit around checking their wristwatches, going, where are those guys? They don't really show up by now. For the last 50 years, we've had a simple system where when people try to escape, we murdered them to keep the peace with the elves. But there's a new peace, given there's a new king in town. So
So we didn't go to the tunnel and get murdered.
exactly. No more tunnel for you.
A little bit of thought, and then we realised, that's a bad idea.
And also, Ferric survived.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Ferric.
Yeah. Oh,
We saved
look at that.
Ferric.
We say Ferric. He's fine. He's a little worse for wear.
And we provided some entertainment with a riddle tree that hopefully won't be luring any children to their death.
Yes, that's we'll just
Swings around us. This one isn't really, but it's.
To be fair, now that you're king of the forest, Steve, you can just order him not to. Just tell him,
Good point.
no luring children.
I'm beginning to think that this might be a pretty good thing. That I'm the king of the forest. And it
Yeah.
has an antler fused to his head.
I mean, it works. It works for me. I'm happy to hang around and not have to worry about being shot by a giant arrow.
Yeah,
Well,
which is a good
Yeah,
thing.
it puts a crimp in your day. Really, it does. It's or
It
at least
does.
in your
It does.
robes. Yeah.
Yeah, in your chest often.
Yeah.
Right. Hope everyone enjoyed that.
Yes.
Yep.
Top five. Thank you very much.
As promised, we've
Great.
finished bang on time at 10 o'clock. Or close enough.
That might be the least fighting I've ever done in an
I
adventure.
know.
Yeah.
Ages stacking up you guys for common monsters, and then it's like, we'll talk to this guy, we'll talk about we'll do the tiresome riddles.
I mean, why not? We're peacemakers. That's all. That's all we
Really?
are at heart, really.
We've done our job properly, really.
The Krusty Cap, I'm sorry you didn't get to that fight, because they are one of the most annoying monsters in the game. Their gimmick is they have a secret word, and if the players say the word, they get bonus attacks. And you don't know what the word is until you actually say it.
Oh, so you just have to randomly spout rubbish until you say a word by accident.
Well, there were going to be two of them if you got to the castle, and one of the words was word, and the other was hiding.
Great.
And there would be hilarity with the disembodied heads trying not to say those words, but to clue you in. But anyway, you can encounter that at your leisure. given it's your new hunting lodge, and somewhere off in Feylands, your new castle, and so forth. Anyway, the last thing we've got to do is the ritual plugs. Upcoming books, products, and projects you wish to, advertise on this forum. So, Jeff, what's coming up from you soon?
Well, for me soon, it's because it came out and got repaired. Obviously, 7 Deaths of an Empire, bloody brilliant book, absolutely fantastic, best book of the century. Clearly, apart from
I've heard good things about it. I've heard very, very good things.
It's very
about it.
good.
I've heard good things.
It is very good.
It's out in paperback in March as well, so that's kind of the next thing. And other than that, I hope book 2 hopefully at some point, and then on to book 3. That's where I'm up to at the moment.
Cool.
But yeah.
Steve?
I don't have anything coming out imminently. My last book came out in October, which was Black Coat, which is my first science fiction book. And that seems to be going well, and people seem to like it, so I'm good. But the older stuff is the Helicon Chronicles and Avalon Chronicles and Rebellion Chronicles, which is one big story. And I've got a new series that I'm writing at the moment called Riftborn, and I don't know when it's out yet because I haven't been told.
Excellent.
So when I get told, I'll tell everybody else.
Watch the space.
Yeah, pretty much.
Justin?
Similar to Steve, I don't know what my schedule is now. There will be a re-release of The Lost War sometime this year, I think, maybe. And then maybe book 2 next year. I don't know yet. But I will shout about it as soon as I do know.
Excellent. In terms of what have I done? The Broken Lord, third book in the Black Iron Legacy, was out in time was lost one meaning. May, I think it was.
The pandemic years are just all one big bloated time period.
Indeed. Also, for 13th Age, which we just played, I am still working on the Prophet of the Pyre campaign for that, which is going very slowly, but because I'm doing other stuff. And chunks of the background for this adventure were taken from the Paragon Blade 1-on-1 role-playing game, which is also coming out at some point in the future. But like everything else in publishing, it is indeterminate at the moment.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh yes, and also I should switch hats and plug the Middle-earth or the Wandering role-playing game, which is just hitting people who order Kickstarters, and I am at some point supposed to finish off the Moria campaign for that. And I also contributed a chunk to the Ruins of the Lost Empire Arnor source book. I got to spend lots of time running around Tharbad, which was lovely and nostalgic. Anyway, that's everything.